Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. We're in the plan. This is my weekly show that I do, talking about all the different news and happenings in Galaxy of Heroes throughout the week and, and the community. And there hasn't been a lot of news, actually. The last week, there's a lot going on, but this last week hasn't had much. And I am on a business trip, as you can tell, so we're going to jump right into this. The first thing I want to address, as we always do, is this excellent mod that we're trying to get to perfect. We're at 18 speed, and it could go to plus 30 speed. So let's see how this week's roll goes. And as predicted, no speed. So let's see what happens next week, but I suppose Scavenger Ray is going to have to be content with a plus 18 6E mod for now. And I guess, I don't know, I feel like putting them on display like this and just doing one roll at a time in front of you guys is just asking for disappointment. So we'll continue to ask, though, week to week. Okay, so we have our first viewer question from Brill, is a good friend. He's asking about whether he should be working on Profundity or Inquisition. And I mean, on the surface, that seems like so obvious because Inquisition aren't really that good, especially once their data cron goes away. Like, sorry, out of luck. Like, what would you say you do here, kind of thing. But I mean, it's not as simple as that because Inquisition are going to be needed for something else. Like, it's pretty clear the CG is been screaming at the top of their lungs, like, hey, this is an important unit. Like, this is an important squad. You're going to need it. Like, why aren't you working on it? And people are like, because I don't want to. And that's fair. I get that. I don't necessarily love working on teams or squads that I'm not interested in. But at the same time, I mean, I think if we're just looking at chasing the best things possible, Inquisition are actually something you should be paying a lot of attention to, especially at the very, very minimum, Second Sister and probably Ninth Sister. Both of those two are actually valid and good characters outside of the context of Inquisition, just because the TIE Interceptor, or Tint, as people have been saying, not Taint, and it's a very important ship. So just something to be thinking about and taking into consideration that, you know, Inquisitors are going to be pretty important. That being said, I don't think that there's any reason to doubt that Profundity is going to be incredibly important. People have been debating, like, oh, I don't think it's going to be the Executor counter everyone hopes for. Like, I don't think it's going to be an easy button versus Executor, but I do think it'll beat Executor. And I think that it's going to be a really important fleet, not only for just like PvP kind of game modes. I think like territory battles, if we get a new one, it's going to be a necessary component. In fact, I think that it's going to be required for a lot, like just like in the GOTB right now, Negotiator, or Anakin's ship, but I mean, essentially the same thing, right? They're both required for several missions. Profundity is probably going to be required for a couple of them at least, even though it'll probably be like Endor, and it'll be like, well, you were actually like destroyed by then. Like, Darth Vader had already boarded you, so he'd already mounted your algorithm. So I think Profundity, it has to be more important. That being said, I mean, if you're saving the gear, you may as well just wait a little bit longer. I don't know. That's my thought, at least. Along the same vein as working on the Profundity requirements versus Inquisition, one thing that I think people have been kind of dismissing or overlooking quite a bit, and you know, it's a really important strategy point for GAC in general, for strategy stuff and for territory wars. But you know, people are like, well, okay, I've been working on like this Galactic Legend or something like an unlock thing, a thing you have to unlock. You have requirements, and they're like, well, I just can't afford to put Relic 7 on Mother Talzin right now. Like, that's the only thing I need. I have Relic 5 on all the Night Sisters, except for, you know, I need Relic 7 on Talzin. And Of course I'm not going to. I have to put Relic 7 on Dash because it's the Profundity, or I have to put Relic 8 on Cassian. And, you know, people are seeing things like more long-term, which is good. Like, you need a plan. I mean, that's what this episode, or that's what this whole series is about, like making plans, making sure you know the best plan possible. And so I get it. I understand the desire to like just blow off datacrons, especially if you don't like them. Like, you know, the dirty truth, of course, being datacrons aren't going anywhere, and even if you hate them, if you're determined to play the game competitively, I'm not saying you have to, and I wish you luck and I wish you well if you decide not to engage in them. I'm not. Nothing about me preaching about datacrons. I mean, just because I happen to enjoy certain aspects of them doesn't mean I fully condone them. However, they're not going away. That if you want to play this game competitively, and you know you want to play to the very top of your potential, then you need to engage in datacrons in some ways. And one of the things that I really want to do is start focusing more on, like, so yeah, sure, top shelf. Like my main account, I just like go get all the datacrons. Like that's what you should be doing. Like play Conquest. No, it's not Conquest though. It's Cron Quest. Like you go on a quest to get as many datacrons as possible and maximize your roster as much as you can using datacrons. Like that's how it is for top shelf. However, if you are, you know, free to play or free to play adjacent or something like that, you should probably. There's been a lot of people saying like, well, I can't get them, or I don't want to get them, or, you know, whatever. And I want to start focusing more on that group, because Professor X, my alt is in that category. You know, I get 2 to 3 datacrons so far. It's looking like 2 to 3 level 9 datacrons every set, and you know, I don't spend money or crystals on them. I get the Conquest Pass, and then I get whatever my guild gets for territory war compensation. And so the question, though, that is a tricky one, and I should probably just make a full video of it. But, like, how far should you just chase datacrons and make your squads viable? Because, frankly, I mean, is putting off getting Profundity for a month worth having a relic or a level 9 datacron for Malgus that's going to only work for like 3 months? And it's a tricky question, of course. Like, I can't answer your level of priority or preference. I will say this: if it's in striking distance, it might be worth delaying unlocking a character. I'm not saying unilaterally, and people are going to take this as me saying you should just chase datacrons at all costs and just drop your plans. I'm not saying that, but there is going to be a few things where a little bit of mental flexibility in terms of your plan and your, desire to get certain things unlocked in a certain time frame, it might just be worthwhile to get your datacron up and running so that you can win more GAC matches. I mean, eventually you'll just get clubbed down again, of course, but I mean, being able to have now I have a Malgus squad on my alt. I've been ruinously negligent of my Profundity relic levels. The requirements. Everyone's like relic 1. I've been putting gear on them, but I wanted to get that Malgus squad up. And here's the thing, though. I guess the question that you really want to ask is this a squad that you would want in 3 months to be at these relic levels, or would you feel a little bit silly to have them at these relic levels for your account and your situation once you don't have a datacron for them? Like my main has a really cool Mother Talzin squad, and I don't regret that. I think it's pretty cool. In fact, it's kind of fun, but I don't really, like, in the context of my 10 point, however many million GP account, I think it makes sense. People would be like, oh yeah, you're bound to find crazy, weird squads on an account like that. Everyone else is just Relic 5. It's not a big deal. And, so that's fine. it would be really silly on my 7.4 million GP alt to have that same Night Sister squad. But having Malgus and his Datacron is going to help not only myself with a lot of, GAC related problems, but it's also going to help my guild. And I don't know. I mean, I also tend to like Datacrons, so it's just something to think about. We should make a video about it at some point. I'd be interested to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Like, how worthwhile is it to delay a project just to get a Datacron and make it work? I don't know. I would like to hear what you guys have to say, though. Okay, so now we're going to start talking about, we're going to get into this hive of scum and villainy of, which is Reddit. And Reddit's famous for its extreme takes on things. Like mostly it's like emotion-driven madness. It's toxic. There's some downvote police there who are like, be rational, and I'm like, yeah, be rational, but I'm getting carpal tunnel because there's just too much madness. Like it's just. It doesn't work. You can't downvote enough. Like people just get worked into a frenzy, and every once in a while there's some actual good things that you can take away. And so on a slow week like this, I think this is where we're gonna dumpster dive and find some interesting takes. So there's this guy who is like, hey, look at me. I went to this website and discovered somehow. I don't know how you discover this when it's not right, but that there's less than 100 Relic Coruscant Underworld polices. Like CUP is what people. So people, it's this meme of like, hey, this is a terrible character. It's CUP. Like there's a content creator who that's like AP Gaines. That's his whole thing. Is like CUP is cool, and it's just funny because. Well, first off, there's more than 100. There's not many more than 100. There's not 1,000, but there's more Relic Cups than you think. I'm sorry to say, and he's like, ask me anything because it's a meme. He's like pretending to be wise, but he knows how ridiculous he is, and that's fine. I just think it's funny because people are like, I'm cool for gearing the worst character, like for gearing the character that's the least represented. And you just have to, when you look at the list, it's like, he's not really even, like, yeah, he's not super high gear. Like I even my whale account, I don't have him relic. Like there's a couple really niche uses for him that aren't uses for other characters. But I just have to laugh because there's a lot of other characters out there who aren't relic right now. Like you just that are relic less even than CUP, and so I just have to chuckle. I don't know. I've always hated that that's a meme in the first place. Like, hey, I geared up my CUP. I'm like, well, that's cool. Like, you want to tell me the oldest joke that everyone knows? Because that's the joke that you just told. Like the it's so derivative, I guess. I don't know. People want to do the meme. It's and people like the joke. That's fine. It's not doesn't match my sense of humor, I guess. But I mean the irony of the fact that like Eth Koth is the real one that's forgotten, and Ugnaught and stuff. That appeals to my sense of irony. And then, of course, the other ironic part is there's a guy like just a couple posts down who's like, hey, I just relicked CUP. I'm cool. Look at how cool I am. I just randomly relicked CUP because I'm crazy. I'm crazy. Like if you're really crazy, like why not put Relic 9 on Eth Koth? I don't know. Why not go delete your mods if you're crazy? I don't know. It seems like something a crazy person would do. But anyways, this guy has a Relic CUP, and I mean, there's a guy he's holding an AMA. Ask him anything, like just a couple posts up. Go ask him about it. That'll be good. Oh geez, yeah, okay. So this guy, he's crazy. He is. I like him, but he's crazy. He dared his wife to name one character that's in Star Wars that isn't in the game, and it's like, I mean, my wife could do it too, I think. Maybe not most, but, you know, you're crazy. And I just thought that this response was funny, you know? Like, the very first thing that comes to her mind is Death Stick guy. And whenever I see Death Stick guy, I just think of Fly Mutant from Futurama. But, I mean, I just, like, the psychology of it, you know, and I don't mean to imply anything, of course, but you just have to think, like, the first thing she thinks of is drugs. Like, she's like, oh, what about that drug guy in Star Wars? Like, you see in the game? Like, I don't know. You didn't have to think that hard. Like, I also think it's funny that the frowny face, he's like, she came up, I failed my challenge to my wife immediately. It's like, so you were hoping she would fail? Like, I don't know. It's like trying to prove someone doesn't know everything. They're like, oh yeah, well, you don't know everything. Well, what am I thinking about right now? What am I thinking about? No, I was thinking about angel food cake. You're totally wrong. You don't know everything. It's like, okay, cool challenge, bro. All right, I like this one. This one about, you know, if CG isn't going to respect the competitive integrity of the game, then why should we play? Like, this, the person didn't really expound on it. They were just like, hey, I have something to vent, and this is the whole thing. Like, here's the title. There's no body to it. As just no other context. Like, competitive integrity. I am angry. And whereas I typically think that this sort of inflammatory post is just like, okay, like, if you're not going to give a well-articulated discussion about it, like, if you're not going to actually talk about it, then I don't really have time for your, like, bad attitude. But I do think that's interesting because, I mean, so we're forced to just assume about what, you know, like, guess what this guy is saying. And, you know, it could be like data crons and how it's on such an unbalanced game mode now and stuff. And, you know, there's certain valid discussion to be had about that, certainly. I think the thing that I want to interpret it as is, you know, there's cheating. People are cheating in this game. You know, you can upload an APK, is what they're called. And, you know, you can cheat. And CG takes a infamously long time to actually do anything about cheaters. And, you know, and the frustrating thing is sometimes they just, like, let the cheaters have their accounts back. They're like, oh, bad, you know, you cost people thousands of crystals, but, you know, we'll let you off with a warning. Like, you don't play for a month, and then hopefully everyone will forget about you. Like, this has happened a few times, and I don't know, like, there are some blatant cheaters. I think that the ones that are the worst are the ones you can't even tell, the ones who are really good at it, who are smart about it. And, you know, you can go to there's a Discord server for how to catch a cheater or something like that. Like, do you want to catch a cheater? I don't know. Something fun. But, yeah, like, the thing I always said, I remembered it the other day, like, I always said if they ever did move crystals to GAC out of Arena, CG is going to have to find a way to police cheating in a more effective way. And, you know, I said that for a long time, and then they did it, except they didn't find a way to police cheating. So, I don't know, CG. I don't know what the impasse is. I don't know, like, maybe hopefully you're creating some new things initiatives to stop people from just totally destroying the competitive integrity of the game. I don't know. It's frustrating to face cheaters. I've faced them on my main and my alt a lot, and I don't know. Like, the top shelf people, the people that I'm facing on my main, I don't think, my guess is that the majority of them don't cheat, but you know, I would like to know. I would like those guys gone. I think most people would like them gone. So it's a good point from the hive of scum and villainy, which is Reddit. All right, folks, and I think that's going to do it for today. I'm sick of speculating, so we're not going to do a speculation section. If you want a decent speculation section, go back. I don't know. Maybe it's just one day from now. Go look at the crate expectations video that I made with Sarah. We talk about when we think Profundity and Java might be released. So, you know, we have some good discussion, I think. So go check that out if you want more speculation. That being said, I need to edit this video in. I've actually been doing this all without being able to see the screens that I will be showing you. So please be extra patient and loving with me when you watch this, in retrospect, I guess, because I'm saying this toward the end. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Zareth prevails and asks for thumbs ups. Please, if you liked the video, please thumbs up and stuff. Take care, guys.